Sammy, I'll give a quick bit of airtime, mate, just to give us an update, because from what I can see, the data and evidence is looking pretty conclusive as we speak. Still early stages, but let me stop talking and give you the opportunity to tell.
There's not a lot of really solid data we can go on at the minute, so I've been really focused on the early voting. And we all know the battleground states, that's where it's going to be decided. I'm so excited. There's 24 hours. I'm a bit of a political junkie. Greg, you shared something about the West Wing in the general chat. It's one of my favourite shows of all time, the political side, the strategy. It's all amazing, but it is going to be edge of your seat stuff tomorrow. I'm still and I put in that report I did, my base case is I don't think it's going to be as close as a lot of people are predicting. I think Trump is actually on track for a landslide. I think that is the way it's going to go, and I don't want to sound that bullish for him, as in just general. I want to stay a little bit more reserved and try and see all things. She can absolutely still win, but the early voting I'm seeing come in, and when you see the strategists on Twitter, it's such a great, useful resource to see what they're talking about. And there is a air of right now, because the Democrat one wood is the early voting, and the Republican one wood is they hit election day hard. So Democrats have the early lead when they do the mail-in ballots, they vote early, and then the Republicans hit on election day. So there's always a sort of a firewall of Democratic votes that pile up before the election day, and then the Republicans hit on election day, and they try and overcome that, and the election in those states is decided. But right now, Republicans are early voting like really we haven't seen before. They're doing better than even 2020, and we know that Biden, just got over the line against Trump in 2020, but Trump got, the most vote any Republican candidate has ever gotten in 2020. So he's polling better than he was in 2020, while Democrat early voting is, and I'm going to say this, catastrophically low right now. I mean, in Pennsylvania, one of the states that it will likely just decide the election, those three blue wall states, Michigan, Wisconsin, and Pennsylvania in the north, the Democrats right now are 700,000 votes short of where they were in 2020. And Republicans are at the same level as they were in 2020. So that shows enthusiasm, that shows their base is motivated. We're seeing it sort of across the spectrum. Again, that's as much as you can glean from where we sit, and that's happening in most of the states. Right now, it looks like he'll carry Georgia, North Carolina, Arizona, and maybe Nevada. So that takes the Rust Belt. She really wants to win a couple of those to give her some room for error. But if he takes them all, which it looks like he probably will, she literally has to sweep the North. She has to sweep all those states which are line ball or in Genevera, drifting towards him. So that's the way I see it. Also, there's rumours that Virginia, New Hampshire, maybe Washington State are all starting to maybe teeter towards him as well. So there could be, this is the great thing about tomorrow is we could see Arizona, a few others, and Nevada. The counting maybe take longer than 24 hours. But if we start to see the East Coast when the polling closes, and you get a general vibe of how the election's going, if one of those early states sort of flips from blue to red, you know that the trend, I guess, is in favour of Trump for the rest of the map. So that's where I see it. Of course, she's not out of the race at all, but it's clearly, in my view, in his favour based on that early voting. Now, tomorrow it could be the absolute reverse, and we see the Republicans are cannibalising their votes from election day and are doing the early voting instead. That could absolutely be part of the case, but we have to remember that, and the Democrats could come in tomorrow and hit it hard. In the last 4 elections, the Democrats have never hit in size and power on election day. It's always they've trailed off into that. So it would have to buck all kinds of trends for them, whereas Republicans have been told to change their habits and early vote because there's this, Trump's idea, too big to rig, too big to steal, make it so overt early on that we're this far in front. So if they suddenly come up with this amount of ballots overnight in the early hours, it's going to look so overt and in the face that, if this is line ball and it's close and it's, between one state and a few, votes here and there, this is going to be an absolute shit show. Both sides are going to claim, X, Y, and Z. They've already lawyered up. Both sides have. They think it's going to be really, really close. I really hope it's not. The most likely outcome, though, and I put it in that report, was if Trump wins, then how the states are structured right now, the Republicans will win the Senate. And they already have a House majority. it's looking like they might expand the majority in the House, gain the Senate, and gain the White House. So that's the perfect kind of idealistic vision for the Republicans. Now, as crypto investors, that's our ideal vision. You might not like Trump, whatever. We have to sort of put that out of our heads. What's the ideal thing for our portfolios? And right now, better for Trump to do that, because they will have, I guess, the full mandate. They'll have each branch of the power versus a gridlock legislative branch, which will just be like what we've got now, which is, that's fine, ho-hum. But if they have the full range of powers at their disposal, they will do stable coin laws. Maybe, we think it's probably highly likely. We'll probably get more ETFs. They'll do a SEC-friendly commissioner. They'll be able to get the people they want, the positions they want. They've made their positions around crypto very, very clear. So I think that's our best case scenario. If Kamala wins, and there's no real chance. There's a small chance that she can do a massive sweep and win all three branches of the House. That seems unlikely. But what is more likely is she might win the White House, and we get a checks and balance style thing where Republicans hold the Senate, maybe the House, one of those. But one's at the White House with the other parties controlling the legislative branch. And that's where I think we have to be wary for markets, especially crypto, because traditional finance, I think, is going to be really, really spooked at, especially if they gain, say, more seats in the House than we think. They might gain a bit more power here and there.